Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding. Everything you need to know in there about training, nutrition, supplementation, PEDs. Get that on Amazon.com. And while you're on Amazon buying books, just get my book too, Real Bodybuilding. What a great book. And now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Antouliadis. How are you, Doctor?
Hello, Ron. Have a nice week.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again. Yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt. We recorded 2 episodes in a row, guys. I love being transparent. People love it because they're gonna think I only have one shirt. I'm still rocking my Team Lunsford.
So we're approaching 200 episodes in 10 episodes from now, huh?
Yeah, this would be 191, I believe.
181, yeah.
Wow, so 9 more
episodes. It's just before the Arnold in the next year. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And I hope that 200 is going to be again with Steve.
Oh yeah, of course. So I split up the questions, and I wanted to start with this one because this is something that you and I we've both dieted for contests. So this is something that I think we both have experience with. Guy wants to know, is conditioning a genetic factor, or is it all about diet, drugs, cardio, and suffering? Can anybody get as shredded as the most shredded person?
But there are different levels of conditioning. So I say lean, but not ripped, and ripped, but not shredded. So you can be lean at 8%, you can be ripped at 6%, and you can be shredded at 4%. Wow. Okay, shredded to me also means the dehydration, okay, along with diuretics. Yeah. But ripped is defined by certain striations like triceps, quads, the vastus, the Christmas tree, the chest, and the delts, perhaps, some classic things. Also the separation of the inner thigh, the serratus, things like that. Yeah. Of course, the six-pack doesn't say anything. You can be off-season with the six-pack. Now, there are people that are blessed with it called ectomorphs. Let's say the body type of Frank Zane was super easy to cut down, or Gaspari said that he never did cardio. He was blessed to have a very fast metabolism. Wow. Now, Jay Cutler was mesoendomorph. I was bulking very seriously, but he couldn't. It was harder for him, though, to get the ripped to the bone, Yeah. So I think 2009 was his leanest ever. At 255, he was 4% or something, Yeah. I don't believe there is something less than 3%, yes. Subcutaneous. It's when you have the striated glutes, I guess. Yeah. All right. And so you could say that the endomorphs are not so genetically favored, unlike the ectomorphs, that it's easier for them.
I mean, I've seen like homeless people walking around with their shirts off, no body fat, abs, striations, and they're not healthy people. They're drug addicts, alcoholics, mentally ill. So they're not dieting like we diet, and they're not taking clenbuterol and thyroid. They're not doing any of that stuff. But genetically, they are usually smaller, thin people, but they're shredded. Do you think anybody can get shredded, but you just might be pretty skinny?
Shredded, let's say lean. I mean, everybody can have a six-pack.
Well, yeah, I agree.
But having the obliques and having the hams and the Christmas tree and things like that, it takes dedication. But I think there was never a bodybuilder in the history on stage without the Christmas tree. Otherwise, you don't get on stage because you're not 6% at least.
Yeah.
But it's another thing going to 3%. Personally, I never been below 4. When I was at the fitness, I was very 175 pounds, 178. Yeah. Okay. Then when I put on weight, I couldn't do that. I can't.
Yeah, I think your skin, the thickness or thinness of your skin plays a role. Some people have very thin skin, like paper thin. Other people do have thicker skin, which makes it hard to see.
Now, theoretically, if you go very low in the body weight and sacrifice also muscles, yes, you could reveal your glutes, but also it takes training, of course. Lee Haney didn't have shredded glutes,
No. Flex Wheeler never did either.
Not once. Very true. Yes.
Thank God. He was like, I consider him the best, one of the best 2 or 3 physiques of all time. So, yeah. And then we've seen plenty of guys that are amateurs with shredded glutes, but they don't have the size to stand next to, a Rami or a Hadi or somebody like that. They would look very small. I think a lot of people could get shredded, but they would lose so much weight, it would mentally screw them up and they can't do it. Because I see people who compete and I know they just stopped at a certain point. They're like, I can't get any smaller than this. The scale says 200. I can't go under 200.
Is it about the size and the insecurity of that, or it's a mental thing that you break down and you cannot go further because you're
Well, he talks,
not walking, you know?
well, he talks about suffering, and it's the same thing. The bigger and stronger you get as a bodybuilder, the harder it is to get any bigger and stronger. Because, say you start training.
Plateau, yes.
Yeah. And the same thing, I think, with dieting. It's once you get very, very lean, the leaner you get, it gets harder and harder to get any leaner because the body is fighting you. It does not want to do that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is a homeostatic thing. Yes, correct.
So yeah, drugs come into play, and you got to suffer. Very few people get shredded glutes without a lot of suffering. You can see the face. They have that. I hate to use that term because we've lost people.
Death face, yeah.
Death face, but that's what it is. You look like a skeleton. Yeah. All right. Good enough. Next one comes from a power lifter. He says, I'm currently using 250 milligrams of Sustanon, 50 milligrams of Nandrolone per week. I want to add Dianabol pre-workout 3 times a week for squats, bench press, and heavy deadlift. What dosage would be ideal? My doctor commented 40 milligrams 3 hours before these workouts. And I asked him, what country are you in? Because a US doctor would never even have that discussion with you, but he's in Brazil.
Anywhere. I mean, I don't think there are doctors that can have a clue about this unless they were bodybuilders.
Yeah. So this is where you come into play because you are a bodybuilder. His doctor said 40 milligrams 3 hours before the workouts for Dianabol.
I would say in order to avoid the stress of the liver, to do it 3 times a day every 8 hours of 10 milligrams, which is the least dose, so 30 milligrams instead of taking those milligrams in one dose just before. But the middle of the dose, let's say, it could be pre-workout.
Okay.
Right now, the ideal, if you don't care about the stress of the liver, take 50 pre-workout. But I mean,
like 30
it depends
minutes.
what you want. You want safety also, or you want just the kick.
I think he just wants to lift a lot of weight. That's what I think he wants to do. So 50 milligrams, 30 minutes before your workout, sir. I mean, I used to do over the summer, I was doing like 25 milligrams of like Winstrol, or did I have Dianabol?
And take them sublingually.
Yeah, and I was doing
bloodstream,
for the workout, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah. I'm not a power lifter. I wasn't lifting very heavy weights. I'm sorry, dude. All right, next one. Question about GH. We get this question a lot, but it's a common concern. Currently taking 4 IUs after my workout. Should I be splitting up the dose if my main goal is fat loss, or is it okay to inject 4 units in one shot?
So injecting a larger dose will spike on NG1 that favors the muscle growth.
Okay.
Splitting down the dose favors more the fat burning, and preferably on low glucose level. Okay, so of course, empty stomach in the morning. And the other time could be either post-workout or, of course, just before bed when your dinner was protein and salad 2 hours before.
Okay. Yeah, because you always want to have it when there's no carbohydrates in your system, because that insulin.
It favors the fat burning.
Right.
When the insulin is low, okay, the beta oxidation is favored in this way.
Okay. Next question, very simple. What's the dose of letrozole if I'm taking 250 tests in a week?
I don't think it's more than 2.5 milligrams. So 1 tablet.
Yeah, I don't take any aromatase inhibitors. Okay. Doc, here's another shredding question. Who's getting shredded in the winter? These people, I guess. If I'm trying to shred, is it still a good idea to have some carbs before training to assist during your workout? And then there's a training question after that. But first of all, yeah, carbs.
Yes, it's a good idea, because what matters in the end of the day is the amount of calories and the amount of carbs, whatever. So you can collect your carbs pre-workout.
Yeah.
Either pre and post together, and skip the carbs from the other meals of the day, but collect most of the carbs just before to have energy.
Yeah.
But of course, it's also the muscle glycogen that begins from the you don't fill up the glycogen 1 hour before, okay? But it is a good idea. I mean, I would do also that, to have at least 50 grams per workout, to have a decent workout and lift more, it's better than, be like a dead man and couldn't do any serious.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, even when I was dieting, even at the very end, I always had carbs in the pre-workout meal. Post-workout, maybe I wouldn't, because I was really trying to get rid of that last bits of fat, but you still want to have good workouts and, train the muscle and burn calories.
True, yes.
Second part of his question was, yeah, there was more than that. Okay, it's a training question he had. If you go heavy on your first exercise, should you continue with heavy weight for the rest of your workout, or should you pyramid the remaining exercise? I think he means go lighter, not pyramid. I feel when I go heavy on my first exercise, my muscles are exhausted for the rest of the workout.
What I noticed myself is that I cannot retain the good pump for more than half an hour. After that, if I'm training harder, I lose my pump because I deplete my glycogen.
Yeah.
So you can go heavy, but I think gradually you reach out the peak of your workout, not from the first exercise, because, okay, you're fresh, but, first of all, you need to warm up and reach a certain point of fatigue in your muscles in order to hit 100%. So I guess the second exercise is the one you can push it to the limit.
You know what Milo Sarsha would say about this? He's saying you should be drinking intra-workout shake with
Yeah, you don't run out of gas. Yes.
Essential aminos, creatine, glutamine.
Everything, yes.
If your stomach can tolerate it.
Yeah, because you get bloated sometimes with those solutions are very hypertonic,
Yeah, especially the carbs. For me, I can't really.
Usually you do this in off season, not during cutting phase.
Right. Yeah. And one thing I want to say about the heavy weights for the first exercise, I was never able to do more than one heavy free weight exercise, like on presses, because I lose my ability to balance and coordinate. So I would do heavy dumbbells first, but if I try to do another heavy, like if I do heavy inclines, dumbbells, and then I try to do heavy flat, I always had trouble balancing. I could do
also, you have to choose either to do heavy dumbbells or heavy bench press. You cannot have both.
Yeah. That's why when I see.
And Jay Cutler says the stretching is far better than dumbbells.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone, like Ronnie.
And also the controlling of the secondary muscles, is way more beneficial than just pushing the barbell.
Yeah, it's very hard to balance heavy dumbbells. Very hard. When you see these guys with like the 200-pound dumbbells, I'm in awe. Just not for the strength. That's amazing.
Nobody but Rami, Jay, I think, and Ronnie did 200 in each arm.
A lot. Well, Sean Clarita, the 212 Olympia champion, he's done 170s, and he's like 5'2". He's done that at a body weight of 200 pounds, 170-pound dumbbell presses. So that's a strong dude. Okay. Next question. Doesn't too much estrogen contribute to prostate enlargement? If the problem is caused by high DHT, how come teenagers don't have enlarged prostates?
The problem with increased estrogens is under prostate cancer. And in such case, they can proliferate for the cellular division of the cells. So teenagers have elevated testosterone DHT and they don't have prostatic cancer. But we have to know that prostatic cancer is the disease of the elderly people. And as Morgenthaler said, you can have low testosterone and increase and prostate cancer. That is also a fact of the estrogens, all right? But it's developing so slow that does not affect the mortality of the individual if he's 90 years old, let's say. So the best thing is to control the estrogens if you are already diagnosed with prostate cancer. I had a case, and this guy is taking 100 milligrams of testosterone. He's taking 1 milligram of Arimidex per week also. And he's taking, of course, every day dutasteride.
He has prostate cancer?
Yes, but he doesn't want to remove his prostate because he's having sex with girls half of his age. Yeah, he's American, 60 years old. Wow. He was a former pilot, also a DEA agent.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's larger than life, I told you. And now he's Bali as we speak, picking up girls.
Bali, wow.
Yeah, he doesn't want to remove his gland and says, as long as it takes.
Wow. And does he live in Greece, or where does he live?
He lives part-time in Greece in the summer. Now he's in Bali. Occasionally he's in the States also. He travels a lot. He enjoys his life. And most of the cases when you remove the gland, you mess up with the erection because the nerves are very sensitive over down in the pelvis, you know?
Yeah, wow. This guy sounds like my hero. I love this guy. All right. Here's a question about Kai Green. This guy says, I remember years ago seeing Kai Green in a magazine looking like a lightweight bodybuilder. Then the next year I see him and he looks the way he does now. I would like your and Dr. T's opinion. What does it take to get to that mass level of Kai Green?
This is so childish question. How can I be like this guy? Come on.
You can look just like Kai Green.
We don't know. We just speculate. You know, it takes tons of food. You have to eat a lot. You have to train heavily. You have to take juice. But I mean, you want to commit suicide by trying this?
Yeah. I have to tell this guy also, Kai Green was competing naturally as a teenager at 200 pounds.
And we don't have the same genetics, everybody.
No, he was natural. And so when he's talking about, because Steve Bleckman and I and the whole MD crew back then, we saw Kai at his first, I think it was still called Night of Champions back then, not New York Pro yet. He wasn't a lightweight. He was like 215, 212, 215. He's about 5'8", and he didn't have any money. He had money. All the money he had was on food. So I think he went on gear. If he was on gear, then it was very, very minimal. He got a sponsor. He got some money. And he went from 215 to like 250 or 260 within about a year and a half. So he did get a lot.
So I guess he reached his genetic potential and then he blew it with extra gear.
Yeah. And his genetic potential was up here compared to us normal human beings down here. So he was never a lightweight. He was already, before gear, he was competing at well over 200 pounds at 5'8". He was always meant to be huge. So doesn't matter what he does for gear. I think you're not going to look like Kai Green. I'm sorry, sir. All right. Sorry to burst your bubble. Last question. I'm on TRT, 100 milligrams a week. My testosterone went from 263 to 479, but my LH and FSH are way below normal. Is this normal?
Absolutely, yes. It is normal. And actually, you should never count them because you're losing your money. You're losing your money because this is the homeostasis that will shut off. You don't care about it because you're plagued with testosterone. And when you're plagued and you administer it exogenously, you simply switch off the power, okay? So you should focus only on your testosterone levels instead of LH FSH that drop.
Fair enough. Cool. All right, doctor, that is it for this week. You're working on some special guests. We're not going to say who, but you've been bringing us some awesome guests. We had Sergio Oliva Jr. a couple weeks ago, and hopefully we're going to get a legend, someone who's been around the game a very long time, big player in this industry for decades and decades. Let's hope it comes through soon, Doc. I want that as our next episode. And that's it. Guys, check out the doctor's website, gtool.com. Get his book on Amazon. Subscribe to the channel. Like the videos if you like them. Please share them on your social media. Leave comments and questions below here in the comments. And up there is that bell thing. Hit the bell thing, the notification bell, so you know when we come out with new content on this channel. Thanks so much for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Chouliatos. We'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.